Hello students, this is Miss Allison and we are doing a video on the circle of fifths, and this is for piano books 3 and up. So we shall review. The fifth is 5 notes apart. So I'm going to bring this forward so we can look at the piano together. And a fifth is made up of a distance of 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to move this a little over this way. Do that again. So here's C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are your 5 notes. And when we're talking about the circle of fifths, we're talking about the keys that are related to one another, which is the way I teach scales. So we're going to take the lowest C on the keyboard, which would be down here. And because of the quarantine, I have not had this piano tuned, so I apologize. But we will do the best we can. So here's the C. 5 notes up from that is G, and 5 notes up is D, 5 notes up, A, E, where we can switch to flats. This is F sharp or G flat, and we'll call it G flat. Then D flat, and this is A flat. I'm going to move this over a little bit. That's E flat, B flat, and that brings us to F. And if we did one more octave, or fifth, that brings us to C. So we've gone through all of the keys, starting with C, going through the sharps, adding a sharp every time we go up, another fifth, and then going backwards. We're going from all the flats that we start with and going back down to no flats at all. So let's do it together. We're going to start with C and play 5 notes up starting on C. And you're at G, change to a 5. At D, change to a 5. F sharp, change to an A, 5 on A. Change to a 5 on E. Change to a 5 on B, even though that's not really the fingering we use. And then I'm going to change hands here at the F sharp, G flat place, and then D flat. We're starting on 2s with these flats. A flat, and then 2 on E flat, 2 on B flat, and then 1 on F. So I want you to do those 5 notes in between, because the more you get that in your ear and your fingers, the better when we do the full scale. So when we do C, there are no sharps or flats. When we do G, we don't encounter any black notes there. When we do D, 5, 4, 3 on F sharp. When we do A, we do A, B, C sharp. So you will notice that there is a pattern here. We're adding a sharp every time. So what are the order of the sharps? Well, we start out with F, and that's in G major. If we did the full scale, that's the leading tone. So we have F sharp in G major. We have F sharps and C sharps in D major. In A major, we have F, C, and G sharps. If we are in E major, we have F, C, G, and D. If we're in B major, F, C, G, D, A. So for those of you who need a mnemonic, it's 4 cows go dancing. F, C, G, D, after eating breakfast. A, E, B. So every one of those is a sharp, and that is the order of them. 4 cows go dancing after eating breakfast. So bear that in mind. With these patterns, we always have the half step in the same place. It's between the third note and the fourth note. That's where you're going to get 2 notes that are right together. So that's something else that can help you remember where the flats and sharps are. So let's look at flats. We're going to start with F sharp here. And F sharp or G flat goes like this, starting on 2. So we're starting with all the flats that we're going to play in this circle of fifths. So it's B-E-A-D, bead, gold-covered floors, G, C, F. So in this case, we have our G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat. And D flat major, so if we're looking at half steps, it's still between the third and fourth notes. Okay, so we take away a flat, we take out that C flat. Now in A flat, see, we have B, E, A, D. And then in E flat, we have B, E, A. And B flat, we have B flat and E flat. And in F, we only have 1 flat, B flat. So when you practice a circle of fifths, start with just doing the fifths and getting used to going C, G, D, A. And we had learned the rainbows with octaves back in book 1. So we can use that same technique using fifths, starting with the and so forth. We could also do it this way if you wanted to. You could switch hands. C, G, D, A, E, and so forth. And then add your scale. It's always whole step, half step, whole step. So you really get a feel mentally and orally and physically where all these keys line up. Now, those of you who have gotten into some harmony, the fifths are really important because that's when we're doing tonic and dominant. So when we have a tonic note like C, and I'm playing middle C on the keyboard, if I have a tonic note and I go up my fifth to G, that's my dominant note. Tonic is home base. Dominant is being away. So if you left from home and went to the store, and then you came back home again, and then you went out to karate, and then you were back home again, that's the home and away. And you really can hear it when we do this pattern, which is our do, so, do that we learned in book 1. So if I put chords with that, then it would really sound like home bass. The dominant sounds like we're not finished yet. And we're back to 1. We're back to our tonic note. So I want you to play the so, do, so in that way. So in the order of the circle of fifths, we have C, G, C. That would be 2, and then 5 on G, and then 2. So let's play that together. Okay, our next one is G, D, G. 2, 5, 2. Ready, play. Let's do our D, A, D. Okay. Let's do A, E, A. And then let's do E, B, E. Okay, so then we get into flats. Why don't we just do a few of the flats today? Now, if those of you who have my Musical Minds 2 book, if you look in the appendix, we've done some of these patterns in the appendix and all the keys. And once you've gotten used to doing them by ear, it's good to then read them. So those are in there. Also, there's an explanation about 1-5-1 chords, or the tonic dominant chords, in the second unit. Or it's not the second unit, it's the first unit, but it's B, 1B. I discussed that. So you can look that up as well and listen to the CD for that. But this is just a cursory, whether you have the book or not, give you something to go on. So let's see, we're up to the flats. Let's start with just a few flats. We're going to do F. So let's do ready, go. And then B flat. Okay, so that gives you something to go on. We did our, what I call tetrachords from 5th to 5th on the circle of fifths through all the keys. And then we did our do, so, do pattern for the harmony, 1-5-1 in some of the keys. Now you could extend this a little bit and do some minor. So how do we do minor? Okay, so if we lower the third note of a tetrachord, and then the half step is between the second and third note, we've got minor. So that means when we do our do, so, do, does anything change? Nope, nothing changes. It's my right hand that changes, and we're not doing that quite yet. We're just doing the left hand's do, so, do. So those don't change at all. Another thing that we can do with this is this is also in your Musical Minds 1B section. We can do the inversions for some of these chords, which is what I am doing when I play this cadence. So we're going to start out with just doing triads. All right. So let's start out with our C down here. Oh boy, that's out of tune. Okay, so that's our C chord. We have 5, 3, and 1, C, E, G. If I put my 5 on the G, 3, 1, it's G, B, D. If I put my 5 on the D and play D, F sharp, A, I have a triad there, D chord. If I put my 5 on the A, C sharp, E, I have an A major chord. 5 on E, E, G sharp, B, that makes our E chord. B, D sharp, F sharp is our B chord. All black notes for F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. For F sharp major, or we can make it G flat, B flat, D flat for our G flat major. D flat, F, A flat, D flat major, A flat, C, E flat, A flat major, E flat major, E flat, G, B flat, B flat major, B flat, D, F, and FAC for our F chord. And then if we wanted to make the minor, we make the middle note lower. So just bring it down a half step and you've got a minor chord. So you can make it a little more spicy that way. Now, if we wanted to do a 1-5-1 cadence, all we have to do is play the root chord and the tonic, and then when we do the dominant, it's in what we call an inversion. And inversions are chords, triads that have been changed in their order. We call it, they are respelled. So if we did a C chord that way, I can respell that chord and still have C's and E's and G's in it, but put it in a different order. So C, E, G, then put thumb on E, 2 on G, and C now is flipped to the top from the bottom. And if I did that again, that's the first inversion. I can do a second inversion. Put the thumb on G, the 3 on C, and the 5 on E. And I've got a second inversion for that chord, G, C, E. And then back to C, E, G. So you can do that with any of the chords. So when we do this, we're doing a first inversion chord. Okay, so here's what you have in this video that you can do. Rainbows from C to G to D and so forth, all through the circle of fifths, bottom to top. Then add your tetrachord in major, so whole step, half step, whole step. And this is all in the introduction to Musical Minds 2 if you've got that book. If not, that's fine. And then we did minor by putting the half step a little earlier. So it would be whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. with those tetrachords. Then we did doing do-so-dos, and as many of the keys as you like. So starting on the tonic note and then going down for the dominant and then back up. And then we did triads in every key going up the circle of fifths. And that's our 5-3-1. And once we did that, we tried it with, you could try it with minor by lowering that middle note. It's kind of grumbly down there, you can't really hear it there. Right? You could do it that way. And then we looked at inversions of your triads so that you can play with your do-so-do chords. All right, so that's a lot to chew on. Now, those of you who have learned all the scales already, then I challenge you to do it the way we've done in lesson, where we've done 1 octave, hands together, quarter notes, and back down again, and then 2 octaves, and 1/8 notes, okay, and then 3 octaves in triplets. And 4 octaves in 16th notes. Okay, so that you're getting used to all of those rhythms and relationships between those rhythms. And that will be enough, I think, to keep you busy for a while. Those of you that are not taking lessons this summer, please do something. Please listen to your CD or other music. Please do some of this theory and scales. Do some review pieces so that you're not losing what we worked on last year. All right? All righty. So, hope this is of some use to you.